I think it's cool. And what I mean by creative is I think there's like a poop scooper service in Twin.
Poop scooper
for
service?
dogs.
I've never heard of this. What do you mean? I could tell.
Like you would hire these individuals to maintain your dog poop in your yard. I think.
I need to let Parks and Rec know about this so they can go in.
Going back to the Polygon Cascade hardtail that we have is comparable to the Trek Marlin.
Oh yeah.
Or the Giant Talon, which is a very popular line of bike. What it ends up being.
All right. There's really no way to start this. Like we just basically go.
Yeah, absolutely. Man.
Welcome to a new podcast. You will be, I believe, guest number 4 or 5. I can't really remember. I'm going to say, let me just see. Sarah 1, Sarah 2. I did one with the base jumping guy. Do you know the new base jumping guy?
Who, Dave?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
awesome.
I did it.
Wears all red.
Yeah.
He's so cool.
He does always wear red.
Always wears red, man. I mean, shoes, shorts, shirt, everything's red.
Huh.
Yeah.
You're blowing my mind right off the bat now. So I did one with him, and I don't know if you know about this. I jumped.
You did?
I jumped
with Dave?
Yeah.
He told me, "Hey, I'll take you." You know, and I thought, "Okay, Dave, yeah, I'll take you up on it when I'm ready."
Yeah.
And I think about it, and then I encourage my customers to do it.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm not sure I'm ready to. How was it?
It was amazing. Here's what happened. He basically, because I first met him at the visitor center, right?
Right.
And then we moved here, and then I told him, so I did a video for him already, like just kind of like all of the clips he already had and so forth. And then I had him come here, and then we essentially, how this went was I did a podcast with him, and midway he almost kind of called me out,
Like, you need to go.
And he was like, you need to go. And then I was like, I would be the first Bosnian that would ever has jumped off the, the bridge itself. So, and then I was like, oh boy, I dug myself into a hole now. Yeah. Now I gotta jump because, what if somebody calls me out on it, you know?
Yeah.
So midway through the podcast, we put the podcast on pause. We went to the bridge.
Oh, wow.
We hooked up everything. I got on the platform, and then normally what happens is like they just kind of push you off. I leaped off, so he wasn't ready for my leap, So he had to come in afterwards as well.
Yeah,
and then it was amazing. I think you got to try it out too. So he was number 3, and then number 4 was my sister, and then you're number 5 now. Excellent. So you're guest number 5.
On track.
So this is really an early podcast itself. I'm just still trying to figure it out exactly how it all works and so forth.
Right, absolutely.
So this is why I got this Red Bull, and I got you one too. Thank you go.
Yeah.
This is Andrew, and he owns Pertt's Bike Rental.
Yeah.
So he's the guy that has that. It's like a truck,
right? And
then you have a bunch of bikes in there, right?
Yeah, they're packed full.
Yeah. I guess let's start with how did all of that start? Like, where did you get this idea? You're like, I'm gonna start renting bikes.
Early on, my wife and I, as this is not just a venture on my own, I've had tremendous support from my wife. We wanted to do something that was different. We wanted to start a business on our own, go out on our own, work for ourselves, build our name for ourselves. And, the thought was we originally wanted to do a much bigger scale platform. And what I mean by that is we wanted to have a building with a multi-purpose building and do food and coffee and smoothies, as well as like the other half be a bike shop or something similar. But the original goal was to not do the same brands as one of the other 5, local bike shops. So, but we ran into some challenges when we were trying to do that because we scaled down and said, hey, no building. We're going to be 100% mobile. And it took a lot of effort to let people know, hey, we're mobile, but we're not a mobile bike repair You know, it's mobile bike rental. We will bring the bike to your trailhead, to your hotel, to your Airbnb, or our most popular spots, the visitor center. But it really was something that we just wanted to put together that was flexible, right? Easy, right? Super convenient. Takes the logistics out of moving a bicycle or transporting a bicycle, and was low risk. And what I mean by that, you know, an affordable price, something to where you use it, you bring it back as long as it's in the same condition as when it left. You know, there's no fees, etc. But we really wanted it to be something that was unique, creative, and it's not like there's really anything to say, hey, we're, you know, similar businesses do this much in sales. There's really not a lot out there that's like that. We've seen some similar platforms in some other areas, like in Southern California. There was something that we saw that was maybe similar in Arizona, but not the same, you know, not to the same extent where their main focus was delivering a bicycle, right? Or getting a bike to you. It was more like they were just at a location out, you know, and that was their only location, where we can go to almost anywhere for the most part. So that, and then all this during, you know, a pandemic, I mean, or at least the tail end of it, because it was earlier this year that, you know, we had these thoughts that we wanted to get those things going. So our thought process was, you know, to do that. Okay, we've got the idea, we've got our outline for our business plan. And we worked with the Idaho Small Business Development Group.
Oh, that's in, is that CSI or something?
Yeah, so it's a part of CSI, but it's like across the street.
Oh, okay. I've always kind of wanted to see exactly what kind of stuff maybe I'll even have them on the podcast.
Yeah,
you know?
They're great because they helped us, you know, from knowing what we need to do to start up, like how to, you know, what type of partnership, you know, are you going to be an LLC, a sole proprietor, or a corporation, and, you know, how to do that. And it's cool because their help is free.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing. It's like anybody that wants to start a business probably needs to hit them up.
Yeah, absolutely. And they were tremendous. But the thing that was a little difficult was, you know, they were all working remotely. So getting connected took a little bit of time, whether they were busy or, you know, who knows what, because a lot of the individuals work with people in Idaho, but then also out of Idaho, because a lot of them have, you know, experience in other states.
Oh, okay.
So they helped us with that. We worked with a gentleman named Dennis, and he was amazing. Still, we keep in touch, you know, hey, how is it going, et cetera. But starting a lot of that stuff was no cost, you know, LLC, getting our EIN, you know, hey, you go here, you do this, all online. And it's so fast.
Yeah.
Not that you can just start a business overnight. I mean, you could, essentially, sort of, but
I think it's almost kind of like people just don't know. And if you talk to like a person like him, he kind of gives you a road plan exactly what to do.
Yeah, and if someone were to ask me now, you know, I could give them that direction. Hey, what, you know, first let's have an outline, second and third, fourth, you know, those different things. So that was awesome. A lot of help. And you know, a lot of time went into that as well, you know, thinking about our brand and how we were going to portray ourselves and what we were going to do. And then, you know, getting back to the pandemic, we were essentially building our fleet, looking for bicycles when there was none.
Yeah. I was like, how did you get these bikes? Cause like there was like almost kind of like a bike shortage, and, you couldn't buy a bike anywhere. Like a Walmart was all sold out. I've never seen Walmart sell out of every bike. It's like completely empty. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? I'm like, thank God I got a bike.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And one thing, side note on like Walmart bikes, is the trend of the bicycles there is getting closer and closer to similar caliber to like your entry level local bike shop bike. There's bikes there for $400 or $500 now. I mean, they're not all on the rack, but there's carbon fiber bikes there at Walmart. It's crazy.
I know. It's like, what?
I know. Yeah, I saw that one day. I'm like, $500? Yeah. Oh, it's a carbon fiber, and it's this and that and the other thing.
Yeah, it's got like disc brakes, hydraulic brakes. It's like, they're really, because like they're slowly getting there, which is nuts. It's like, because like every time you say Walmart bike, it's like you automatically, in my mind, I'm like, those are not good bikes.
No. To the contrary. I mean, a lot of it's Pacific Cycle, and, you know, into the branding, Pacific Cycle of Schwinn, Mongoose. I think even GT, which, primarily is a big brand. I think Dick's Sporting Goods carries GT bikes, but those are $600 or $800 bikes.
Yeah, they're getting up there now. So it's like their quality is slowly and surely increasing.
Right.
And now that I look at a bike, I'm like, oh my gosh, look, it's got disc brakes. It's got
Yeah.
you lift it up, I'm like, it's not that heavy, you know.
Yeah. So no, so when we were trying to find bicycles, it was difficult. We wanted to get signed up as a dealer, and so going back to the mobile thing, we weren't really able to do that because we didn't have brick and mortar. You don't have a retail space, 600 square feet, blah, blah, blah. You can't sign up as a dealer.
Oh,
So
interesting.
we hit a lot of roadblocks like that, which is frustrating, but I get it from the branding point of view. If they're going to allow someone to sell their brand, they've got some requirements that need to be met.
Gotcha.
So the search continued. I probably contacted 12 or 13 different either vendors, wholesalers, or reps, like outside sale reps. And it was crazy. A lot of what I got was, hey, we don't have anything.
Yeah.
We can't even, do that. Or you're after this brand. Well, that brand is geared towards big box stores, not necessarily what you want to do. So we just kept looking and looking and looking, and we ended up finding the Polygon bike line.
Yeah, I actually, you know what? Those bikes are really good. Like, they're literally exactly the same components, I feel like, that you see on big name brand ones.
Right.
But in this Polygon bike. So, like, I don't know how to even describe it. I was like, this is great components. And
Yeah.
I've rented bikes with you twice. Once was for like a video shoot that we did at Visit Southern Idaho. We just kind of like rode it around.
Yeah.
And then the second time, I basically took one of your bikes and we went to Soldier Mountain.
Right.
And then you showed up there
Yeah.
as well too.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then what a blast that was. And I don't think people understand that. And I'm hoping more people, if they watch this video, that basically they can get this idea that they can rent the bikes from you.
Right.
And even they can either bike around Twin Falls.
Yeah.
Or they can even take it to Soldier Mountain.
Right.
And the nice thing is what you're doing is you're making it so that I would say people don't have to invest all this money into a bike,
Right.
or even be on the hunt for a bike, you know,
Right,
because
right.
finding a good bike, even now I think is pretty tough. Like I was at Target the other day, not that many bikes there, and I was like, nothing. There's nowhere bikes even now. I feel like so.
Yeah, and a lot of the local bike shops are getting more in stock, but going back to the Polygon Cascade hardtail that we have is comparable to the Trek Marlin.
Oh yeah.
Or the Giant Talon, which is a very popular line of bike. What it ends up being for a lot of people is maybe their first bike if they're getting into mountain biking.
Yeah.
And ours, are good on hard pavement and they're great on the dirt trail. And for example, like Soldier Mountain, the green trail, that's what if you're not really into biking and you have some experience and you can handle, riding down that far for that long, going that fast, they're great on the green trail.
Yeah.
Anything beyond that, a little questionable just because it's a lot different as far as the trail up there.
I was there this week. They had a tournament.
Yeah, the downhill bike
the
race.
downhill
Yeah.
bake race, and they went into the advanced area.
Oh, yeah.
And I was in the woods, and I had like my 360 camera, and I was like following them and so forth. That trail, I was like, I don't know if I could come down this. Soldier Mountain, I feel like if you're just a beginner, I think you just need to stick on that easy trail.
Oh, for sure.
And then it's so crazy how much fun it was. I was like, it's almost kind of like being on a roller coaster and you're in control of the roller coaster itself.
Yeah.
They only have a couple more weeks before the season is done, and then they'll be rolling into like getting ready for winter and stuff like that. So there's still time to go ahead and do that.
For sure. Yeah, we've got a guy's trip planned the weekend of the 11th. We're going to go up Friday night, and there's a campground like literally at the end of the parking lot.
Yeah.
So we're going to take up our trailer. If it's full, we can camp in the Soldier Mountain parking lot.
Oh,
They
yeah.
don't care. Joe, the ski patrol guy up there, he's
I know
like,
Joe.
hey, yeah, you can stay in our lot. We don't care. And then, by the way, those bathrooms are running water bathrooms, and they're open all the time.
Nice.
They're unlocked. You guys use them as much as you want. And that's convenient. If you were dry camping, which we would be, it's nice to be able to go wash your hands or flush a toilet, So
This was me thinking, I'm like, I need to go at least once more back to Soldier to go ahead and have more fun one more time itself before the season is going. So I know for sure I'm going to go do that. Again, it was just so much fun. And like I said, I was there the other day, and not the other day, but it was like, I think it was like a Saturday. It was a Saturday is when I was there. And I think they also have some kind of disc golf tournament.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I saw one of the, what do you call them? The chain things.
Like a press release.
That's what it's called?
Yeah, it's like a press release. They send out like what's going on at different places and so forth.
No, I meant like the goal for the disc golf thing. I don't know what it's called. Like where you throw the disc to get it in the goal or whatever.
Oh, I'm not too familiar with disc golf at all.
Yeah.
But I know they have that going on. So I know there's a lot of people that are interested in disc golf. And then it's got a really nice disc golf course there as well, too. So they're doing all kinds of fun summer activities there, too. So I thought that was kind of cool. But the advanced trail, I walked it and I recorded people going. There's jumps.
Right.
I saw one guy just double jump this. They were going so fast. Like at one point, one guy just zoomed by so quick, I couldn't even, I didn't have time to hit record. He just zoomed by. It was awesome. But I really like the idea that you're offering like these bikes that it would typically cost you a buttload of money.
Yeah, exactly. And the idea was to get more people out to enjoy what we have. 90% of our clientele is out-of-state people.
Oh, okay.
We've had a few locals, with the Visit Southern Idaho crew. And then also, some people local that are like, hey, I heard about Auger Falls, which Auger Falls is a great dirt trail network.
Yeah.
But not only do people bike down there, they hike, they trail run, they walk. So, we wanted to share the experience biking because we would prefer to bike it. And there's also, there's lots of different trails for depending on the discipline of riding that you have, whether it's beginner, intermediate, advanced. And then, we deliver down there. So
oh, wow, yeah.
You don't even have to have a bike rack to get down there. All you really have to do is book online or call and show up.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's like you with you guys being mobile, basically you can be at the visitor center, you could be at the Auger Falls, and then is there another place that you guys drop off?
The Pole Line Trailhead.
The Pole Line Trailhead. So it's like those are the top 3 hotspots.
Yes.
And I mean, you can even walk it, but I feel like it's much more enjoyable when you're riding a bike.
Yeah, even if it's like kind of warm, you're moving. Yes, you're using your own energy to move, so you do build body heat, but you're getting, wind on yourself as you're riding. And it's a different sense of enjoyment. And it's really fun because the trail never used to be as nice as it is. And I'm thankful for, organizations like Mavtech, helping to get the trail where it is, and also all the sponsors, that sponsored sections of the trail, and also the landowners that have, made agreements to allow the trail in some of those spots.
Yeah.
It's just over 6 miles one way. So you can get a 12 or 13 mile ride in really easy.
Yeah. One time I went all the way back to, where Walgreens is on Pole Line?
Yeah.
All the way to the back over there, like that. I call that's like the beginning of the trail.
It is, yes.
And you can literally bike from there to Shoshone Falls.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
It is.
Yeah. So we did that whole bike ride all the way to Shoshone Falls. We continued even further. I got out of Shoshone Falls. If you keep following that trail that goes back to the Hidden Lakes,
yes.
There's a road that takes you up.
Yes.
And we got out there, and then we went to the Hansen Bridge.
Oh, wow.
And then we crossed the Hansen Bridge, and then we went to this place called Clay Cave.
Oh, Clay Caves.
We rode all the way from Walgreens to Clay Cave.
Recording again?
Yeah. So again, with the technical difficulties, I'm trying to figure out this whole Zoom thingy. It runs off battery, but it also runs off of USB power. I've never tried it with USB power. We're doing it now.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, don't die on me, Zoom recorder.
Yeah.
But running it on battery is not a good idea because I think you can only get one podcast out of it and then the battery's done, essentially.
Yeah.
So not a good idea. So definitely needs to be plugged in. So
Yeah.
we're testing it out. So where were we at?
You rode from Walgreens to the Clay Cave.
Yeah.
Which another hidden gem in our area. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's easy to get there either.
Yeah, it's you. So I took a road bike on that dirt path.
Yeah,
I don't know how the tires survived that because the road is pretty brutal.
It is.
My biggest bike ride that I did, I had this crazy idea of I want to bike from Twin Falls to Boise, Idaho.
Oh, that's cool. And you did it.
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
you're like, this is going to be a good story.
Yeah,
no.
Tell me. Yeah.
No, the thing is like, you have to be like trained to do that. I feel like, cause that's like 130, 140 miles almost.
Yeah.
And, with zero training, I was like, let's give it a go. So me and this guy, his name is Nick from the dog park. I told him, I'm going to give it a go, see how far I can make it, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'm going to go. So we met up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning at the dog park.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, here we go. And we had our flashlight and then we started. And we got from Twin to Mountain Home.
Oh, wow.
That's 100 miles on the dot.
Wow.
And I was dead. It was brutal because we didn't take the road. We went through some dirt path. We made a mistake at the bridge that you cross into Hagerman. You're supposed to keep going straight. I decided we take a left just before the bridge, and then that took us up the grade. And then I thought it was going to be paved up there, but then we got to a point where it was all dirt. So for like 20, 30 miles, I was on a road bike going through dirt.
Oh.
And that just sucked the...
you probably could have made it all the way if you hadn't done that.
Made it. That's why I'm pissed. I'm like, now I got to go do it again. So this is going to be like a part 2 on there trying to make it over there.
Wow. But, So did you take Highway 30 then? Or did you go on the freeway?
We crossed into that up, and then we got into the old highway, and then we kind of followed that. I think there's even one point where you have to get onto the highway, or you got to go through more dirt. And I was hating dirt with the road bike. Yeah, it was like, this is brutal.
Yeah, no, I totally understand.
We need more drinks.
The Red Bulls.
Red Bull, we're going to be like, we're going to be flying out of here.
Yeah, that's right.
So, backing up a little bit, what did you do before this? Were you just an active biker all the time, or?
No. So yeah, I mean, yes, I've been an active biker for a long time. By no means is my riding status expert. It's our passion and drive was really something that we enjoyed, that we wanted to help share with everyone, because of the physical side of it, right? Because it's exercise, but then also like it's this endorphin release, with mental awareness, a freeing sense of release. But I had worked and managed a local restoration company before I got into this, and then before that, I worked at a local tire center, but it's one of the largest tire dealers in the West. And I was a manager there for some time, and I had been in Central California for almost 4 years during that experience as well. And that was a 10-year endurment. But, and I've done a lot of different things. I've done landscaping. I've worked as, a diesel mechanic, and, at the tire location, it was a lot of different things, alignments, brakes, lift kits, lowering kits. We did loader tires too. We were on call. It was everything in our area. But yeah, no, I worked at the restoration company, and we did a lot of COVID cleaning last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like, I feel like as a result of the way the world changed, it kind of sparked our idea, of mobile, right? I mean, so many things were going to like home delivery or curbside pickup, right? So we thought, okay, well, we got to do something different, And so that kind of led to that. And then we had a couple, some of our people in our close friend group that, made that recommendation. Have you thought about a trailer, or something like that? And I'm like, well, if we do a trailer, we got to have a truck. So let's get a truck first that can pull a trailer.
Yeah.
And then we can upgrade later on or add that in. So, that's a little bit of background on what I did. And I've grown up here.
Yeah.
I'm not originally from here, but grew up here. Love the area. And it's ironic because when we moved, we kind of thought, oh, we got to get out of here. There's nothing to do. Like this is boring, right? Like I think so often we take things for granted. For example, the Prime Bridge has been there for how long?
No, it's been there for a while.
Yeah, and it's a structural marvel in a sense that someone so long ago was able to plan and put something together that's going to last essentially forever. It's not going anywhere, but it's things like that we take for granted that it allows us to get from one side of the canyon to the other.
Yeah.
And it's funny because even just exploring Auger Falls, I don't think that access to Auger Falls has always been there as far as like the gate by the wastewater treatment plant. I think it used to be locked.
Yeah, what's crazy about it now is like I've been there in like when nobody used to be there.
Right.
I've been like ever since the pandemic hit, I've seen it full and then cars backing up. Everybody loves it now over there. It's awesome. I've even been there when it's like the water is flowing like crazy. It's like a very cool hidden spot. And again, it's like, I think they even have jumps now over there.
Yeah.
I don't know where that's at though.
So the trail is called Tristans Trail. It's a local gentleman whom I've met. He's excellent. He's part of the Dirt Trails Alliance.
Okay.
That oversee a lot of the area down there. Similar to Mavtech, they might even be part of the same group. But one thing that's cool about Auger Falls is we're going to be getting a skills park down there. It was supposed to be September, but I think it's going to end up being sometime around in November.
Oh, okay.
And so skills park, and what I mean by that is like some rollers, to get used to rolling and pumping the bike over rollers to gain speed. There's going to be some drops, I believe, probably some jumps. I don't know exactly how much it's going to be, but it's cool because the trail network is how it is already.
Yeah. It's a big area. Like
really
I don't
is.
think I have been on all of the trails. I've only been on a few of the trails. It's a giant piece of land.
Yeah. And the cool thing also about it is there's so many different people that go. And, I mentioned like walking, hiking, right? Or trail running. But there's all different age groups that ride down there, mountain bike. And it's really like this community in a way that it's, it'd be nice to try to get everybody together or, we'd like to sponsor a trail. And what I mean by that is like if we sponsored a trail, like maybe build some features or be responsible for maintaining and improving that trail, that would be something we'd have to work with Parks and Rec on.
Yeah.
So, and some of those things take time. They're usually pretty busy.
Yeah.
So,
again, going back to Auger Falls, it's like great for hiking, biking. I even take my dog over there. It's like if I'm like, where do I want to take my dog today? It's like it's either going to be in Rock Creek, Auger Falls, or Dog Park. Those are the top three, pretty much itself. So Auger Falls is amazing. And I guess let me ask you some of these questions about entrepreneurship.
Yes.
What would you say to somebody that has an idea and they're like, I have this idea. I don't know if I should start it. Like what would you say to them? It's like, like for going off of your experience,
right.
What you've learned so far, with Pertt's Bike Rental?
Yeah, no, and that's a great question. I feel that if someone has an idea, pursue it. Don't just stuff it down and say you'll do it later. You need to react and do something.
Like now.
Yeah, like now, because you may not know there may be a need in your area, for something like that. And what I mean by that is like when we started getting out in the community, in the business community, small business community, joining the chamber and becoming a part of these different groups, the feedback was positive immediately. Hey, we need something like this. That's excellent.
Yeah, it's like you filled the need immediately. Then they were like, everybody was responding to it like, we love it.
Yeah, there was nothing negative. And so if someone has an idea for that, maybe a niche, right? A small service, like for example, contracting right now, it's hard to get people to do things. Houses are going up. They're busy. They're behind. The real estate market is doing really well. I think. I don't know. I'm not a real estate agent.
Oh, yeah, it's
but houses,
through the roof.
Houses are selling. Values are up. So if they have an idea that's something like that or a niche or some type of service, I think it's cool. And what I mean by creative is I think there's like a poop scooper service in Twin.
Poop scooper
for
service?
dogs.
I've never heard of this. What do you mean? I could tell.
Like you would hire these individuals to maintain your dog poop in your yard. I think
I need to let Parks and Rec know about this so they can go in clean up the dog park at all times. But people should be picking up their dog's poop anyways.
Yeah.
But sometimes they miss it. So
yep.
You're gonna have to give me that poop scoop contact info.
Yeah, no, it's cool because it'd be something that's a niche, or for example, I think there's already one here, but it's a franchise. It's called Car Medic. I think they do dentless. They do dent removal on vehicles, but it's like they don't. It's not a body shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like they come to you and so forth.
Exactly. They're mobile. Yeah. And
it's awesome. There's so many. There's even one. I did a video about this trash cleaning. This guy has this machine. If your trash can is starting to smell like really bad, comes out, cleans them out,
right,
and then it's like, there you go.
I know. And
niche.
Niche for sure. And it's one of those things where it's like, oh my gosh, the garbage can stinks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And all I think of, I better get the garden hose out. And maybe spray some bleach in there, and then I'm running it down the gutter.
Yeah.
Don't tell on me.
Don't tell on me.
But it's interesting. But yeah, so if someone has that niche, why not? Why not talk to someone in the community or reach out to the Idaho small business group that I talked to?
Bingo.
They might say, hey, you've got a good idea, or okay, that's a good idea, but like, is it sustainable in our area? You really got to do your research. And that, kind of go into what we did. So we had the idea, and okay, none of the bike shops rent bikes.
Yeah.
If you Google bike rentals, we will come up.
Yeah.
But Trek comes up first. They've not had bike rentals for over 2 years.
Oh yeah, I think there was one in Boise, but it was like brick and mortar. They don't come to you, anything like that.
Right.
So yeah, you definitely found a niche that people were like, we need this.
Yeah.
It's like, why didn't anybody already think of this?
Yeah, and exactly, niche. And also, like when people are looking us up, they see our website. Sometimes I'll get a call and they're like, well, we want to come get the bike from your shop. It's like, okay, well, our shop has wheels. We're coming to you.
We're coming to you.
Oh, okay. Well, can we meet at the visitor center? Yeah, no problem. Or, 5:00, whatever.
Yep.
And it's like, and I always ask my customers, is there anything I could do to make this easier? It's like, no, I think you've already done everything.
Yeah, you've done it.
So, and other than expanding like the type of inventory we have. But yeah, no, getting back to that, if someone has an idea, I think they should pursue it. I think that there needs to be more entrepreneurs taking the risk. And what I mean by risk is it's not, you just don't start a business and you're rich, right?
Yeah.
Maybe depending on what type of industry you're in. But, you've got to slug it out.
Yeah, it's people don't understand. It's a slow progress, and it takes a while. It's like you have to stick with it, and the winner is the person that sticks along with it and just does not give up. Because a lot of people will just give up really quick
Right.
because they're like, I'm not seeing the results right away. And then it's done.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like moving on to the next idea. But like that idea was good.
Right.
You just didn't invest enough time in it.
The key is consistency. You can't stop, you know? So if you're going to say, I'm going to deliver 5-star service, every customer, every time, and you know, the standard is, or what people say is, most businesses fail in like the first 3 years. Well, go into that knowing for 3 to 5 years, you know, you might have to be creative and have longer than normal business hours. And that was something that like we did. Our hours are 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. because we want to, you know, A, be convenient, but B, like accessible. And what I mean by that is like, you want to go for an early morning ride. Okay, well, if you pick up from a bike shop with a brick and mortar, you're going to have to pick up the night before. We do that, right? But why not plan a ride at 7 a.m.? I had some customers that were here from Tennessee the other day. They cranked out 17 miles, so like over 34 miles between the two of them. And it was an 8 a.m. ride, and they finished around, 11. So it was...
That's amazing, yeah. So what about like these hotels and motels? Do you guys like go over there? I'm like, hey, here's our business card. If anybody wants to go ahead and rent out a bike, they can go ahead and do that?
Yeah, so I've been I believe all the hotels, even the bed and breakfast down there off of Addison.
Yeah.
Which is amazing building, by the way. I've been to all the hotels. We've gotten our cards in their racks. And, we try to build ours to stand out, but there's a lot of rack cards.
Oh, really?
So like that type of marketing works if you're like, I want something to do, and you're looking at the rack. But we have good relationships. We've had a lot of customers and referrals from the Marriott hotels behind Walgreens, because it's the Fairfield and then the extended stay, and then they share a courtyard.
Oh yeah.
So I've had both. I've had, people that stay for 5+ days. I've had customers that rent for over 10 days.
Nice.
That stay there. And, they just bike every single day because that's part of their lifestyle. And that's good. But that, and then the Hilton Garden Inn by the new Java location on Pole Line.
Yeah.
They've been great. They've been great for referrals. And the key to those locations, or anything on that side of Pole Line, is they are right by the rim trail.
Yeah.
But not far away on Fillmore, those other hotels over there, near Gold's Gym. It's a short trip on Fillmore on Pole Line. So you really only cross the road once. And then a lot of people don't know this, but the rim trail goes underneath Pole Line.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah,
it's like a single clover leaf, and then you go under, and then you're safely crossing the street. You're not crossing at the intersection.
Yeah.
It's been good. We've had a lot of good positive feedback, and it's like it makes it easy for people, because sometimes people fly, and then they Uber, and then their transportation is walking or Uber.
Yeah, it's like, get a bike.
Exactly. Yeah. And then we say, well, we'll bring them here. You'll deliver them to the hotel. Yeah, we will. And that's how it works. And we've done that as well. And also the Holiday Inn behind Jakers as well.
Yeah. I mean, biking is always just much more fun than walking and taking an Uber. Cause like when you're on a bike, then you can really get a good sense of the city and so forth, because you're like riding at your own pace and things like that. What would you say would be like a good, is there anything like you've learned that you were like, well, I didn't expect that, but then you learned from being an entrepreneur?
I was aware, from management experience over the years, of discipline, right? Watching your expenses. And sometimes, like in our business, there's peaks and valleys is the best way I can describe it. There's one day I'll have 20 customers, or over 20 bikes go out, and then the next day it's 1, 2, or none, right? Because it just depends on, the weather, and then also traveling, like what people are doing. So finding a way, to be consistent in that has been a little challenging, but also the discipline is the main point I want to make. And what I mean by that is if you have a certain amount of sales on one day and it's not there the next day or two, or maybe, one or whatever, where it's less, you need to remember, hey, watch that cost and watch that spending. You might want to do an upgrade or buy a new tool or something like that. You're probably going to need to wait.
Yeah.
You're going to need to wait or make what you have last. Find a way to be creative to repair it or something like that. But the key is learning how to do things yourself.
Oh yeah, do it yourself is the best, because like if you do it yourself, then you're saving yourself so much money.
Yeah, and time. If you think, okay, well, I'm going to take this to a specialized person, I've got to A, load it up, B, drive it there. So I'm losing time because I'm not making any money in that time that I'm doing that. And then I'm spending and paying a premium for something that I could probably, learn to do myself.
Yeah.
And that could be, depending on your business, changing the air filter on your truck, don't have the tire or oil place do it yourself.
Yeah.
It just depends. And it's obviously got to make sense, but that's been the biggest learning curve. I mean, other than, seeing what little wear and tear items add up, for example, a good bike tire is almost $50 for one.
Oh, yeah.
And that's if you can get it, because sometimes they're hard. And it depends on the type of size and blah, 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 all these different things, and then, if you, depending on what it is, we do everything we can not to have flat tires, but there's no way that I could afford to pay someone to fix flats on our bikes, because they happen all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
So it makes
those damn goat heads.
That's right.
Those damn goat heads everywhere.
Man. It's so bad, and only the local people seem to know about it. I had some customers from New York. They all four. I don't know how they ended up on falls. They were on the rim trail, and then they got off at the Evel Knievel jump, and then took Hankins up onto falls. And they rode through so many goat heads. I had to go pick them up.
Oh, really? Yeah. You're like, goat heads. That's when we were doing that giant bike ride. I had like extra tires just, because I was like, I'm going to run into some goat heads for sure. And need to kind of get it fixed. But I don't know how this happened. Ran into 0 goat heads, 100 miles. Couldn't believe it. I was like, I am so damn lucky is what I thought.
Yeah, no, I got you. And that's, probably the biggest thing that, with being an entrepreneur is watching your costs. And then also like having the sense of like when you need to do something to generate revenue or, pick up some extra work or go out and market to get more brand awareness.
Well, what do you do for like marketing wise? Like how are you getting the word out, I guess?
So primarily we've relied on and have done a lot of promoting on social media, right? So from an entrepreneur point of view, it's inexpensive because it's essentially free unless you pay to boost your posts, right? Yeah. Which we haven't done yet. Our goal is creating creative content, which is something my wife does an excellent job of, to promote on Instagram and Facebook to build brand awareness. And I mean little things like posting an ad on the Facebook Marketplace. Really, it's not, you may or may not get anything from it, but what you're doing is you're getting your name and what you're doing out in the community as far as brand awareness. So that, and then also we've done primarily like simple marketing. And what I mean by that is like our rack cards, right? Taking our rack cards, delivering them to hotels. We have a whole bunch at the visitor center, and really just meeting people, introducing yourself to people, because not only is your brand of what you do, selling your product or service, but it's you. You got to get out there and let people know that you care and that you want to help them. And I feel like that's been huge for us. In addition, Google, right?
Yeah.
Getting set up on Google is free.
Yeah.
And
Google Business.
Yeah, Google Business. And it's flexible. It's really interactive. I'm really pleased with how well it works. And we are 1 review away from having 30 5-star reviews.
Nice. Yeah, those reviews. When I was talking to Paul with AWOL, he was basically saying Google reviews, best source of marketing, because the more of those you get, the better you'll be. So it's like if you start a business, make sure you set up a Google Business and start having your customers do the reviews.
Yes.
Tell them how they experience this, because a lot of people do read the reviews and they get a sense. I'm like, okay, this is like a great service.
Or I saw that, if I want to go see Shoshone Falls by bike, I need to rent for 4 hours. So then when I get online and book, I know that every customer has booked for 4 hours or whatever, because of their suggestions. But yeah, you're right. I love the barber shop down here on Main. It's the Stan's Barbershop.
Stan's Barbershop, yeah.
And I always knew he did well, and I need to leave him a review. He has 430 Google reviews.
Damn. Come on, people, step up your game. You know,
exactly.
Stand with 400 reviews coming in hot.
Yeah, and it's crazy because then I'm like, what? Well, I was pretty proud of my 30 reviews.
Yeah.
And I am, because I've earned them.
Yeah.
You know, and that's right. Going back to what you're saying with AWOL, if it bottom line, having an online presence with Google is important. However, having a website is important as well. Mm-hmm. Our website, so many people love our website. Reinhard Media did our website. Highly recommend spending the time and the money to get that done.
Yeah.
So managing your startup costs is really important if you're going to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of people say, entrepreneurs say, you don't have a business if you don't have a website. Mm-hmm. No, I mean, I agree and disagree, right? If you can't afford it at first, do everything you can at little to no cost, or in-person marketing, or networking with people you already know, right? If you're, going to be a painter, well, go talk to drywall people or go talk to contractors. They'll probably keep you busy.
Yeah.
But getting that awareness out there is really important, because then it comes down to the Google algorithm or whatever.
Yeah.
I had customers from Florida that were planning their trip to Twin Falls that Googled bike rental Twin Falls. We were the first to come up.
Nice. Yeah.
And they already knew what they were going to do before they got here.
Yeah, a lot of people will plan their trip. They'll be like, "We want to ride bikes,"
right?
And then they'll orient their trip, stay with the bike rental and everything like that. So, it's really, in my opinion, it's the way you are successful in business is you have to be on social media and constant presence.
Yes.
If you pull away from your marketing or so forth, it just has to be constant. You're always in people's heads. They're always seeing you.
Right, exactly.
And it doesn't even matter. It could be even like a podcast like this. It could be a podcast, Facebook post, Instagram.
Video, whatever.
Video, YouTube. I mean, the key is, I call it, is content is king, is what they say about it.
Right, yeah.
And the more content that you have about your niche or what you're doing, and even if you're repeating it and just approaching it at a different angle, it's all good. Google algorithm loves that kind of stuff, because it's like you're just giving Google more content for people to find you and stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's important that, like, when people share their experience, there's keywords, hey, biking Shoshone Falls, or that experience, that helps generate those organic results.
Yeah.
And also, to kind of the end of that, or if I may finish with that, is joining the chamber.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, the nice thing about the chamber is when you join the chamber, you get to, you're almost kind of like you get involved in like the local businesses, and then they have like events,
right? And
then you get to you get to network in person and tell them, well, I do this. Here's my business card.
Right.
And then basically it's almost kind of like a tree branch, kind of like, like you introduce yourself to all of these people.
Right.
Because going to one by one, it's not really practical, but when you join the chamber, they literally have like business after hours or something like that. I don't know if you've been to those.
I haven't had a chance to make it just because of our hours. But I did have a chance to go to the Idaho Business Summit. I was blessed with winning tickets to go.
Oh, okay.
Excellent experience. I highly recommend everyone that's a business owner or an entrepreneur to sign up and do it, because getting yourself out there and talking to people is important as well.
Yeah, it's like, I guess, tell me about the experience. Like, did you meet some interesting people, or what did you get out of it?
Yeah, so what I got out of it was, as a leader, and I've led, teams in the past, many teams, large or small, is you learn certain things from leaders that are maybe like one or two steps ahead of you, that have, a little bit more time under their belt, that they can say, hey, make sure you take care of your people, make sure you do this, but also make sure you're taking time for yourself, right? We can't just, grind all the time and expect the same results. We need to take a break, or we need to, have a creative day, or spend some more time at home with family, sleep in, whatever. So that was good, because there was so many speakers that I've been to, similar events on a larger scale, but it was so excellent to see that of a high caliber in our area. There was speakers from all over, very successful entrepreneurs, motivational speakers that shared some of their story. And some of them ended up moving here. Mm-hmm. And so they're able to know what we see and live every day. So it was really fun, and it was an all-day event. It was very empowering. I felt so charged up after it.
I'm ready to take on the world.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna we did. My friend and I went to like a Tony Robbins event, and Gary Vee was there, and one of the Shark Tanks, that Mr. the mean guy that always wants some kind of
I don't know his name.
He's like a bald guy.
Mr. Personality or something?
Mr. something.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm like getting a blank. He was there too.
Nice.
And we got all charged up. We were like, let's go start some stuff. We were charged up. So I would probably encourage anybody, anytime that there's like a business summit or so forth, it's probably worth your time to go over there, because just the networking that you get to go ahead and do and meet and you learn, you'll get charged up and be like, I'm ready to take that.
Oh yeah.
So sometimes I'm even listen to like motivational stuff while I'm working on stuff. It gets me so fired up. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, no, and that's how it was with Gary Vee, and then also financial podcasts. Dave Ramsey. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We did Dave Ramsey stuff to prepare our finances before we started our business. Mm-hmm. To not have what Gary Vee calls the golden handcuffs.
What is that?
Golden handcuffs are essentially like you just get so far in debt, because you've got a big house, a nice car, and you're working to be able to, pay your bills, essentially paycheck to paycheck. Mm-hmm. So getting, not that we were, but getting out of that, or if someone is in that state, free up your finances a little bit before you get that to where if it gets really slow, you can live off of not a whole lot, to be flexible to make it through those first 3 years essentially. So it's been fun to to hear that, and also try to pay cash and do what you can, but there's also, there's credit programs, whatever people are going to do as far as entrepreneurship, whatever works for them. You know?
Everybody's going to be different, I would say. And it's that first initial moment, I'm going to do it, is what really kind of like, maybe we'll, if somebody watches this, it's like, maybe they'll get that moment here. They're like, I will just give it a go.
Yeah. And, it's scary. Mm-hmm. Right? It's because you leave this comfort zone. Mm-hmm. You leave this comfort zone of a paycheck.
Yeah.
Good money, right? For some people, it's health insurance.
Yeah.
We're fortunate and we have good health, right? So we're able to get by without having health insurance and finding other ways. There's options. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. Just because like an employer offers, so-and-so insurance, cool. Find another option.
Yeah.
There's plenty of options out there, and it's not necessarily like taking advantage of anything. It's more of it's taking advantage of or exploring a new opportunity. And so, but you really have to be creative. You have to be creative and think about it and look, a lot of that stuff just doesn't come to you. You have to seek it out.
Yeah.
So, that's good.
It's really like, well, let me ask you this, like how, what does, owning your own business give you, I guess?
So I've always had a sense of ownership to a high level wherever I have worked, whoever I have worked for, right? Because obviously, if I'm working for them, I want to make them successful. Mm-hmm. But and in the process, I will be successful too. Now, as a business owner, I have control of my business.
Full control. Yeah, you can be like, well, we're doing this, and it's like, And it's either my win or my failure, right? Mm-hmm. Depending on what it is. If we try something new, so it's been a huge sense of pride. Right. And also like it's humbling. And what I mean by that is like, if you got to get out there and do it, and one way we described it is like, I got to get out there and start slinging bike rentals. It's like, you get out there and you're, not necessarily be that like,
salesperson that follows someone around. I'm not about that, and I never will be. Hey, how are you? And if someone comes up and says, hey, how much is this? It's like, oh, this is great. Hey, take a look at our board. You can bike to Shoshone Falls. It's only 4 miles. Our rental price for this is this.
Yeah.
And you can get there in 2 hours, and you're spending less than, $30.
Yeah.
But that's the thing though, is like, I've got full control of that. Excuse me. I have full control of that, and I can get out there and do it. But if I'm not out there doing it, I can't be upset if I'm not getting sales.
It's all up to you.
It's all on me. Yeah. So that I've got to get out there and do it. And so it's also, kind of comes back to that discipline thing that I talked about. And then also consistency. You got to be doing the same thing, be repeatable, make sure people know who you are, where you are, and what you do. But you got to be out there. You got to be visible. So another thing too is, I make sure that I'm driving my truck everywhere.
Yeah. We're just seeing that truck driving around. I saw you. I was like, there he goes. He's probably delivering a bike.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking when I saw you. I was like, good for him.
Yeah. And another thing, going back to how I feel with owning my own business, there's a school district that we're working with to rent bikes. And the cool thing is like, I know where we need to be price-wise, and I know we can be flexible.
Yeah.
With that flexibility, I'm helping to get kids on bikes that may not have had that option.
Yeah.
Because
parents are not going to invest so much money in kids' bikes.
Yeah.
And you're like, here's a nice bike. Try this out. Because man, when you try out your bikes, I feel like you get spoiled, and you're like, maybe I do need this bike.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so, we're working with a school district just outside of Shoshone, and we're being flexible on the pricing, but it's something where they're going to have the bikes for 14 days. We're going to pick up and deliver them, and then we're also most likely going to end their training that they're doing. It's something we're supplying the bikes. They're going to do training with these kids, and then they're going to end with a field trip, and their field trip's going to be at Auger Falls.
Oh, wow.
So, it's something to where I'm waiting to hear back, but hey, let's put together a trail map. Let's put a route together of easy trails, and let's put some break points in so we can stop and drink water and talk about technical things. But I'll go. I'll be there for you as your local guide for the area.
Yeah, you're almost kind of putting this seed to these kids that will be like, I really enjoy biking, or maybe they want to kind of,
Yeah, and I mean, I wish that I started when I was younger. In school, I wasn't really super interested in sports. After high school, I started to become more active, and I now live I'm not super fit, but a fit type lifestyle.
Yeah.
To where I know for my health, I need to get out and do something, right? And be physical. And I feel like if I was able to get into that a little sooner, it probably would have helped me in a lot of different areas.
Me and my sister, when we were talking on our podcast, it was kind of like, it's like, you need a hobby is to make yourself happy. You need a hobby. And I got a bunch of hobbies. I'm snorkeling, scuba diving, biking.
Yeah.
It's like the thing is a biking could be your hobby itself, right. And just doing the exercise, it's like, I've heard this a lot where somebody says I've never every time I go to the gym, and it's like I've never regretted going to the gym, you know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, it's so hard, but you feel better after the fact itself. So primarily a hobby is the key to happiness is almost kind of like that. Would you say somebody that's a little bit hesitant about this is well, I don't know if I can get on this bike. I'm not really good at biking. What would you say to them?
So I've gotten a few calls like that, and essentially what I've offered and what I've done is, hey, let's just set up a time, and similar to what I would do, if we booked a ride for you. Hey, I want to ride the visitor center at 2 p.m. Okay, great. We'll see you at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Same thing. We have our hardtails. We have everything from a 7-year-old kid all the way up to a 6'3" person, right? With our large, and then we have cruisers. Cruisers have baskets now, so it's cool, to have that extra storage. So we've got those options with our hardtails, and then cruisers for people to get an idea of what it feels like. And so, for example, hey, take it for a spin around the parking lot, right?
Yeah,
You
try it
don't
out.
know what it's like. And yeah, you could go do that at the bike shop, but then you may or may not have the pressure like, oh, I need to buy this thing.
Yeah, you kind of get almost like a pressure, like, well, I just tested it. It's like, yeah, now I gotta buy it.
Yeah, yeah, where-
Here you're like, I just need to possibly rent it or don't even rent it.
Yeah, exactly. And it, it could be something where it's for a small amount of time, rent it for a small amount of time, or, just let us know. We could set up a meeting and get you on it, talked about.
Yeah, even if you're right there, I feel like people can test one out.
Yeah.
Just gonna see like, oh, I want to give this a go or so forth.
Yeah, for example, we have a full suspension bike in our fleet, and it has, full suspension front and rear. Also has a dropper post. If you haven't experienced a dropper post, you're missing out. Sorry to tell you. Dropper post is the seat post where it has a remote switch on your handlebar.
Oh, it goes.
It goes up and down.
Yeah, I saw that when we were on that on the Soldier Mountain. The guy that was coming with us, he had that, and I was like, "What the heck is this?"
I know. Our full suspension has that, and it's fun to be able to experience that, And we get a lot of people. They're like, "Oh, that's a sharp looking bike." Like, yeah, you're more than welcome to rent it. It's a little bit more than these other ones, but look at all the features you get. So, and what I mean by that is, so then they could look at like the comparison between the two.
Yeah.
Because if they were to say, "Oh, I'm going to go," the Trek store has blah blah blah. They sent me over here, to check out what you have because it's similar to what they have. And we had customers like that were looking at some bikes at Trek. We have a good relationship with Walt and Anthony over there, and they give us referrals all the time.
That's awesome.
It is, yeah. So get a customer out on a similar type of bike. Hey, we've been road bikers forever, and we just tried mountain biking. It's going to take us a lot longer than we thought to get acclimated, but we're still interested. Now we're going to look a little harder at buying a bike, or you know what? We're going to stick to the pavement, or whatever, or it might be too hard for someone, but yeah, we could offer that for sure.
Yeah, again, it's a great service that you guys are providing, and do you have anything else that you kind of? We've been recording for a while, so I don't want to keep you too long here.
Yeah.
I feel like you got to feel like you're getting calls, and you're like,
I know, yeah, it is.
It's like, is there anything else that you want to kind of talk about? To just kind of like close this off, or anything that we possibly missed, or anything like that?
No, I do want to say that I'm really thankful and appreciative to my business partner, which is my wife.
Yeah.
I feel like
it's like a duo. It's kind of like a duo. Like without her, you can't do it.
Exactly. And we have 3 children. While she's raising the children and loving on them, I'm able to go out and do what we do.
Yeah.
So I just want to express my appreciation for my wife, and then also anyone that is looking at doing and becoming an entrepreneur and starting something new. Make sure you pay attention to your family.
Yeah.
You can get out there, slug it out, grind it out, whatever. Make time for yourself, right? Whether it's the gym or going for a ride.
Going for a ride. Yeah. It's you're like, I got to take my bikes, go on a ride to just, feel good.
Yeah. Feel good. Stay familiar with the area, all of the above, exercise. And then, don't be afraid to take risk.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, "Oh, this is a risk," but we're encouraging you to do it.
Yeah,
do the risk.
Yeah, the whole idea is
you only live once.
Yeah, you do. You truly do. And you know what? And there's a lot of different things out there, from like entrepreneur mindset, alpha leaders, different type of Facebook pages that say, don't be afraid to start something in your 30s, fail, and then do something again in your 40s. Right? Like we can do so many things in such a short amount of time if we really pay attention to our time and manage it right. And I feel like if people will be happier. And even if you try it and you're like, no, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you learned. And then by doing that, if you're not a business owner anymore and you're an employee, you're that much better of an employee that could take you to a new or higher level of success than you thought was possible. Right? It might have been, well, now I get it. Now I know why so-and-so complained when I used too many supplies. It's like, yeah, because it comes out of your bottom end,
Yeah.
Like it's straight out of profit. Pay attention. So
worst case scenario is you learn something.
Yes.
And that's why I love, like I said, I love taking on anything because at the end of the day, I learned something. And really, like I said, it's like, just don't play it safe. Do the thing that you want to do.
Right.
And then it'll just make you happier, I feel like. And then this is exactly what you did. It's like, I wanted to do this. Boom, here you are.
Yeah.
And just doing it. So,
Yeah, we're loving it. It's a lot of fun. We live in an awesome community here. And then also it opens up a whole nother community of small business people that you didn't know were there.
That's awesome. All right. Well, again, if you want to support Andrew here, rent a bike from his company. He'll be at the visitor center at Auger Falls and the Poline Corner Trail that takes you, over there. So great service. What's the best way people can, maybe tell us the website or phone number?
Yeah. Easiest way to get a bike is to book online. It's pertsbikerentals.com.
Yep.
Right. You could check out trails, and look at our bikes, browse, plug in some numbers as far as like how long is it going to be or how much is it going to cost if you rent for 2 days, right? Because we don't just have an hourly rate. We have multi-day rates.
Multi-day, hour rate. It's all on the website. You made it so easy and convenient with the website. It's like online booking. You pay online. You come to the spot. And then you're right there. You're like, I got your bike, and it's amazing. It's like this is welcome to the 21st century,
right? Yeah. And then our phone number is 208-358-7387. You can call or text me, because I know people are busy, and that's the best way to get a hold of us. And then follow us on our socials. We post exclusive content, a lot of stuff we partner up on. And I'm very appreciative of that. We've done some awesome footage in some of these areas.
Yeah.
It's good. And really, pay attention to what we have to offer around here. There's a lot of adventure to be had for sure. And I think you know that.
I've been everywhere.
Yeah. A lot of the Visit Southern Idaho stuff is a great guide. So, but I appreciate the opportunity to be here with you, and to get our story out there.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, this has been a good podcast. See you guys on the next one.
Take care.
All right.